When we look at sacred text, what you have experienced with Jumping Mouse will be helpful to you. There will be times in the semester where I will tell you, this is a Jumping Mouse example, okay? Meaning that you're looking for the sacred text to talk to you, to explain something to you from a modern perspective, and it is not able to convey its truths with that filter. How do we then find what the sacred text has to say? Well, let's return to the actual exercise of reading Jumping Mouse. If you read the version on site, it is a little different than the version in your Novak book. Either version is just fine. But at one point, Jumping Mouse comes to the old mouse. And when he encounters the old mouse, they have a conversation. And the old mouse acknowledges how far Jumping Mouse has come. Farther than the mice back in their community, right? In the version online, Old Mouse is presented as an old mouse with long braids. What does that mean to you? Why am I pointing this out? In the Native American tradition, a brave that had long braids was typically retired from warrior status. It meant that he'd earned the right to grow his braids long. If you are fighting and protecting the tribe or conquering another tribe, if you have really long braids, that is not safe. The warriors usually had to keep their braids about shoulder length. When a brave reached the age where he could retire from warrior status, he would grow his braids long and they would be gray. If you are listening to this story and you are of Native American or even South American background, that language means something to you. You know this is a mouse to be respected and he's earned the right to be a wise old mouse. This is called embedded information that is known within the culture, but we must work to understand it and unpack it. In the sacred text that we will look at, each one includes embedded information that requires some work to extract and get to. If you use your Western lens in the 21st century and try to extract that information, you do not have the right tools. It requires specialized tools to reach the message, the meaning, and the truth of each of these sacred texts. We won't have time in this class to fully examine each of the sacred texts, but I do want you to know that there is a way to unpack each of these sacred texts so that they reveal the truths and meanings that resulted in making them valuable texts and enduring texts. Lastly, I want to return back to the exercise in your assignment of analyzing the difference between reading this story on paper and reading it aloud to someone else. I want you to go back to your notes right now before I give this final lesson on this assignment.